Hey YouTube, this is Brian with Renegade Trucking. And as you may know, we're down to the final two on me trying to make my choice. And so my two options are Freymiller, which I have compared on the Stevens versus Freymiller video that I have up here, and now we're looking at Freymiller and my top choice, Prime Inc. So just to fill you in, I'm looking to go, I'd like to go 48 states over the road solo, and I want to stick with the reefer company, and I'm going to be living in the truck, so the truck is kind of a big deal to me, and I want to be stuck in something junky, and I'm looking at going company driver. Eventually down the road, I'll probably be looking at doing some sort of a lease, whether that be leasing through a company just to start off, or doing a lease purchase, or doing something like a full maintenance. The end goal is to end up moving into a full maintenance lease through a dealership, and have the carrier completely out of the picture. That way I can either go on under my own authority on spot market, but all this kind of stuff's way down the road. That's not the focus right now. The focus right now is where I'm going for my first year to get comfortable with all this kind of stuff and get the best training that I can get so I can be a safe driver. And of course, make some money along the way. So let me kind of do a quick recap on Freymiller. Since they're the new challenger here and they just beat Stevens, if you watch my Freymiller versus Stevens video. So with Freymiller, they have a 6 to 8 week training program where I'm sitting in the truck with a trainer, just like in my CDL school right now. Trainer's sitting in my passenger seat, okay? I'm not running team with him while I pick up some info from him or whatever. He's totally there, which I think, from what I understand, I believe Schneider does something similar at least, even though theirs is a much shorter time period. This is 6 to 8 weeks. And then, and it's depending on your, when the trainer feels you're totally ready. Then you come back, you pass, you do like a little test. And the whole point of the training is to run you through a ton of different scenarios, or, different experiences as well. So you can get a lot of varying loads and stuff. And yeah. Oh, I didn't even mention one of these other perks on the Stevens video. One thing's with Freymiller, I'm just going to mention it now while I'm thinking of it. 100% no-touch freight. You never touch the freight or anything like that. They pay, obviously, for lumpers, all that kind of stuff. Anything that you have to pay for, you get reimbursed, all that kind of stuff. So now the pay during training is only $450 a week, which is like the lowest out of any of the companies I was looking at. But once you do get out there, you start at 47 cents per mile currently. After 90 days, you bump up to 48. And then after another 90 days, 6 months, you're at 49 cents per mile. So there's also another component, which is your safety and paperwork bonuses, which can be up to 6 cents per mile. Is paid out as a bonus every 90 days. And so typically drivers are between 4 and 6 cents per mile. So that's what you got going on over there. They have excellent benefits. Really any of these carriers that I'm looking at right now, they have great benefits. Obviously the costs are going to be different. I don't have costs on any of them. Another cool thing about Freymiller is all of their trucks are spec'd out awesome. They run on fairly new equipment. They're in the little thing that they sent me is 1.6 years is their average age of equipment in the fleet, and a lot of Peterbilt 579s. They do have a lot of manual transmissions, and since we're comparing with Prime, important thing is you're on the pedal. You're governed at 65 at Freymiller and 68 on the Cruise. And trying to think what else. The freight lanes that they run, it's a lot of I-10, I-40, and doing a lot of beef out of Kansas right now, and in Texas, all that kind of stuff. They're based out of Oklahoma City, so you're going through that area as a solo driver. You are coast to coast. It is not 48 states though. They stay out of the Pacific Northwest. They stay out of New England. They pretty much stay south of Interstate 80, and if New York City is not force dispatched. If you do go, there is a bonus. And what else? There is a lot of Southern California, though. That's where they used to be based out of. So there is, you do have Southern California is where you're going there. So I think that's pretty much everything that I had about Freymiller to kind of compare with Prime. When I submitted everything, the Freymiller recruiter responded to me Monday morning. When I called him, answered the first time. Everything was great, got all the info back to me. We've been emailing back and forth, and he's been excellent at getting me the information immediately. Even one day during the week, he was out of the office, was still replying to my emails and everything. So that guy has been like freaking Johnny on the spot on everything. And so that's all cool. Another thing with Freymiller is they set you up with a trainer. They line you up with your trainer the week before you go to orientation. So there's no wait at all. Some of these other carriers you're getting, you may have to, you go through orientation and then they try and match you with a trainer, and you got to wait a couple weeks. That's not the case right now with Freymiller. Now, you may have to wait a few weeks to start orientation, I'm guessing. I don't know. But when you go into orientation, boom, you're not, farting around at some hotel, waiting to get on the truck. So that's pretty cool. So the next recruiter that called me back was Stevens, and that was again Monday morning. They reached out to me actually right after I was doing my return call to Freymiller. Then I was done with my lunch break, and I had submitted all the apps on Saturday, so it was Monday was when I was starting to get the callbacks coming. And I had, for Prime, they were my first choice. There's another YouTuber that I'm following, and I wanted to go in as his referral, so I sent. So I did everything through his recruiter, set it up, so he was the, getting the referral and everything. And the Prime recruiter called me back later in the afternoon, and that was actually the first day that I was driving the truck, learning how to shift. So as soon as I got done with class, I gave him a call, and it went to his voicemail, so I left a message. I let him know all the times throughout the entire week that, just during my lunch break, and then after, 4 p.m. Eastern time, I'm totally available, after that. So never got a call back that night. The next day, still hadn't received a call back, so I called him on my lunch break, left another voicemail. Never got a call back during that lunch break. Never got a call back that night. Next day, called again during the lunch break, left a voicemail. Actually, no, I did not leave a voicemail. I just called. Never got a call back during the lunch break. Then I figured I'd try him again in the afternoon again, and called and left a voicemail, and never ever got a call back or anything at all other than the original autoresponder from him and his initial call. So I'd love to provide all sorts of information about Prime, but I guess they have enough drivers right now, and please, Prime Mafia, don't come after me. I think Prime's a great company. I wanted to go there, but this was just to contrast it with the way that and even there were other carriers that I applied to that I was receiving, info back from, callbacks and everything that they weren't ones that I wanted to move forward with at this point in time. So, I mean, even they were pretty active. But I guess Prime has enough drivers and they just don't need any more or something. So never got any info, never got a call back or anything, which, it's probably just this one guy or whatever, because obviously a lot of people have been extremely successful at Prime. I think Prime's awesome. They were my first choice and everything, but when I just saw this like huge difference between these two companies, originally I wanted to definitely go with a mega carrier because I felt, if I have a breakdown, if I got anything, there's all of these additional people to help, but there's also all of these additional people that are there and just don't do their job well. And as you can see, Trucker Dude Brent had a video that he was just talking about this with roadside assistance at Stevens, and he had to use Prime for one of the first times. I'm sure this is the case with all carriers and everything. It's probably still same price, same issue with Freymiller. Just like totally unhelpful people. And but anyways, this is like, boom, this is like my first experience with the company, and this is the face of the company for me, and just never got any info back from them. Never got a call back other than the initial one. And the craziest thing is the voicemail that they left is it was like I got your app. This is so and so. Call back. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if his whole family was murdered this week and he had to take the whole week off and was just really in a bad mood maybe he's the one who murdered his whole family. I really don't know. But anyways, so never got any of that, never got that back, but I can, from what I've seen, already doing my research. Prime has an excellent website that goes over all their stuff. From what I understand, again, this was never confirmed to me, but from what I understand, you're like $900 a week in training, so that's pretty awesome. That their training is, I believe it just dropped back down again to you do 30,000 miles. It's you and your trainer. I don't know because never got to speak with the recruiter, but from what I understand, you're out there, not necessarily, you are teaming with your trainer, but, it looks like they get you up and running and everything's cool. So, 30,000 miles, that's a lot of miles. So that makes sense, that there would be some teaming, and I think that's cool. Like, I think with any of these three companies, even if there were any, teaming during the training, their training programs are long enough that you'd be up to speed by that time. So not really a big deal. When you start at Prime, it looks like, because when I was initially looking at them, they were at like 46 cents a mile for refrigerated, and now, just the other week I pulled up, they're up to like 48 cents a mile. So you start off a cent per mile higher than Freymiller, and I don't know when, again, love to tell you when you get your increases, but someone from Prime will have to put it in the comments here because I couldn't find out. So then the other thing, and if you are in a lightweight truck, you get another 5 cents per mile more on when you're doing refrigerated. So it would be kind of advantageous to be in a lightweight truck if you could deal with that. But since I'm not going to have like a residence or anything, I'm just going to be staying on the truck on the road. That would be, I would not want that. I would feel way too cramped. And so anyways, now I don't know if you get your choice or how that works. I've seen that if your company, which I'm planning on staying, company for my first year and then reevaluating from there. But as a company driver, from what I saw online, I don't know if this is the case or not. Again, other people can fill it in, but there's a very high very, very, very high chance that you'll be in a lightweight truck as a company driver at Prime. And, so that would be, if that happened, that would be a reason to go ahead and lease if you wanted to go that route. But yeah, so yeah, it's like 30,000 miles and you go out on your own. And I will say, I do know Prime uses the Qualcomms and Freymiller uses PeopleNet, and I was looking at those, and the Qualcomm looks way cooler. Definitely a lot easier to use, looks a lot easier to use and stuff. I think both companies are definitely looking at staying on the cutting edge of technology, just different routes about that. Obviously with Prime, unless if you order your own truck and spec it out the way that you want, you're going to have a fleet spec'd vehicle. There are multiple terminals at Prime, which that would have been a huge advantage for me since my family lives near, within less than 90 minutes of the Pittston terminal. So that would have been great for me. Who knows, maybe they'll do some follow-up and call me back and I'll have some of these answers. But as of this point, it's been over a week since I applied. Other than the initial callback and 3.5-second voicemail, none of my calls or anything have been returned from the Prime recruiter. And so anyways, so that's where I'm at now. Just kind of have to make a determination now whether I want to go with Freymiller or Prime. Prime is all 48 states, which is one of the things that I was definitely looking for. They also, to compare their speeds, from what I understand, I think Prime is governed at 58 or 59 miles per hour on the pedal, and then as a company driver, and then 62 on the cruise. Prime, dude, they got tons of loads. They run everywhere. So that's one huge, really cool thing about Prime, if you're looking at that. And yeah, man, I just, it was obviously, this is crazy that I just had this poor experience with the recruiter so far, or well, complete lack of experience with the recruiter. But yeah, this has been like a couple years I've been looking at Prime. So this is, I'm not saying that this has anything at all to do with Prime. I'm just saying that this is my individual experience when trying to go with Prime. So I still think they're an excellent company. I may even still go with them. Maybe I'll, end up with a different recruiter or something like that. But I will say between the two, certainly to me, Freymiller, for my specific situation, I think Freymiller is going to be the way to go. So anyways, I'll end up doing another video whenever I do eventually make my decision, and that'll be another video. So watch for that. But yeah, any questions, comments? If you know what's going on with the specifics to Freymiller or Prime, feel free to put them in the comments below so other people can take a look going forward. But yeah, that's all that. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time to see what company I'm going to.